The Connection Show. Inspiring. Hope. Health. Healing. Sponsored by Brave Heart Workshops. Live with Jill Reynolds. Subscribe to our YouTube channel. Like our page. Share it. Subscribe to it now and click the bell so you don't miss any of our upcoming shows.
The Connection Show, inspiring hope, health, and healing, sponsored by Braveheart Workshops Live with Jill Reynolds. And joining me today is Shanna Collins. Welcome to the show, Shanna.
Thank you for having me.
Well, we are honored, and I'd just like the audience to know just a little bit about you. So, Shanna is known as the infamous poet. She's on a wonderful journey of self-empowerment and empowering others. She's a Kansas City native and have always had a love for speaking in front of people, making her voice heard, and having a mind-blowing impact since childhood. She recently became part of the Lions Speakers Academy and will receive her public speaking and life coaching certification as well. So we'd love to just bring you on to the show. And if you wouldn't mind, Shanna, can you tell us just a snapshot, a little bit about yourself growing up, and then how you've become the woman you are today?
Okay, so starting off growing up, I was born prematurely, missing my arm at the left elbow. And so I had many challenges there. And I also was born with my feet, they were turned in, so they had to break them to get them straight. So I had many surgeries, many obstacles to go through as a child. And then teenage years, I started writing poetry because I realized I held a lot in. I came up in the era of being seen and not heard. So I held a lot in. So I knew that I had a story. And everywhere I went, people would ask me or tell me their problems. So I was a psychiatrist before I knew what a psychiatrist was. And so people would tell me their stories about their children being in foster care and things like that. And I was like, wow, why is everybody talking to me? Like the strangers will come up to me and just tell me all their problems. And I'm like, what is this for? So as I went through high school and adulthood and college phase, I then started writing poetry. And when I started writing poetry, I started trying to connect the dots as to why, what is my purpose? What am I here for? And so I would write poetry that was about my feelings. And, you know, it was the 15-year-old me. And the 15-year-old me ended up losing those poems in the computer. And so when I lost the poetry, it kind of set me back a little because I was sad because I had lost the poetry. Well, fast forward 10 years later, this was when I was 15. So when I was about 25, I started picking up writing back poetry because I had an episode where I found out I was bipolar, and I had started writing poetry in the hospital. And when I started writing poetry in the hospital, that's when I knew everybody's story, because everybody that was in there had a story to tell me. And I was like, what is going on? That's when I started knowing that people that deal with mental illness and people that deal with problems, period, are angels of light. That's what I call them, because we never know anyone's story. Everyone has a story, but we never know what the backstory is to their story. We always choose to judge them, But instead of judging them, I chose to figure out what was going on. And so I found myself giving them solutions, and I was in the middle of my storm. And that's what I always do. I'm just a helper of humanity, a healer of humanity, and a helper of light. So that's what I do. I write poetry. I write stories. I get my story out there, and I just help as many people as I can, one step, one day at a time. And so um, I realize that what I'm going through is nothing compared to what others go through. And what I'm going through is not meant for me, it's meant for me to help others. So that's how I choose to take my challenges at this time. And that's why it doesn't affect me when I go through things. Many times people wonder, why me? Why not you? Because you are a servant. We are sent to serve. And when more people figure out their purpose in life, I think it'll be a better world.
Mm, how beautiful. How beautiful. Well, thank you for sharing that with us. And, when you shared about your poetry, the
Mhm.
first time losing it, the second time, I'm sure you've backed it up in 20 places now.
Oh, yes. I have it in several different notebooks. I have it on Microsoft Office. I have it on my phone. I have it everywhere. So I'm like, if I ever lose anything, it will not be poetry.
Yeah, that's funny. Now, have you been published yet? Has your poetry gotten published yet?
No, I'm in the works of doing that. I'm going to start a poetry book this year. I'm going to start a poetry book in 2022, and I'm going to tell the backstory of each of my poems,
Mm,
as well as put them in the book.
that's beautiful. Do you
Hmm.
have, and I don't mean to put you on the spot, but do
Hmm.
you have any of them memorized that are like a favorite one that you can, like, it from your heart already without reading it? Do you have any of those or not yet?
Let's see. Not yet. Um, it's one I recently wrote called It's My Time. My time is now. It's my time. My time is now to shine bright, to shine my light. It's my time. My time is now to show the world just how good God is. It's my time. My time is now to take the world by storm with all of my grits and glam and everything I've been through. It's my time. My time is now to show up and show out and be held accountable for who I am. It's my time. My time is now to see exactly who I am and to know that I am proud. It's my time, for I am worthy of this time. This time has come to show me who I am and how that I can conquer every storm that I go through. It's my time. My time is now.
That's beautiful. That's beautiful. Well, it's funny, Shayna, because how you said that when you were 15, you wrote and then you lost everything. When I was 17, I wrote poetry and then never
Mhm.
stopped, in about ten poems and never wrote again. It was just the weirdest thing. I wrote, and it was right during the Vietnam War, and
Wow.
it was right during the time when I felt like my home was a disaster and I wanted to just get away because there was so much physical, emotional, and sexual abuse. And so then after I got away, I never picked up a pen and wrote another poem. It was just the weirdest
Mhm.
thing. But my favorite one I'll share with you was, because you said how you share with people, is we lived in a home that had a patio that was it was a big brick patio. It was concrete, but it had bricks around the parameter of it. And
Mhm.
at the front of the patio was a big wagon wheel that had some driftwood bark going through this big black wagon wheel. So it was a rainy day, and I was desperate to get out of that house. I was just desperate to get away. So and it was like wintry and rainy. So I wrote, uh, oh gosh, uh, isn't that funny? I know it by heart, and then as soon as I say I'm going to say it, I can't remember it.
That's
It
what I
goes,
had.
it goes. It goes, the stones are freezing upon cement, the snow quite chilly, melted wet. Why then do they sit so still and not proceed right down the hill? Could it be the wind so strong has frightened them and made thou calm? But hence the wheel within the bark is much bewildered by the dark, for she is young and does not know how safe she is inside the bark's warm dome. But she must run to investigate. I wish you'd think, please hesitate. No, I have to get away into a new meadow 1,000 miles away. And months later, I left home.
Wow,
And
that is
that one
interesting.
stayed with me.
Mhm.
And then I have them on my website, but it was just that time of when you're in desperation of needing to get away. And like I said, it was Vietnam War, and so I think I wrote one, the child you see out in the street is God's creation, yes, you and me, but God's creation is
Mhm.
dying quickly, hardly loving, mainly hating life, polluting air, telling lies because of fear that should have never been part of God's creation, men. That's
Wow.
pretty much for the pandemic, right? We should have never
Yes.
been created with this much fear. We were created to have peace and lay our burdens upon Him. And so, yeah, so that was the time when kids were getting drafted and going off to war at 17 years old, and
Mhm.
and just in that midst of chaos in the 70s.
Right. I love it.
Yeah. So, but again, I never picked, isn't it funny? I never picked it up. So, like
Mhm.
you lost your poetry. I lost my poetry in my spirit. Does that make
Yep.
sense?
That makes complete sense because I lost my poetry physically, and my spirit for poetry never died though. That's crazy.
Hmm.
And when I did pick back up my poetry, it connected with my spirit so much so that I haven't stopped writing since.
Mm, that's beautiful.
Mhm.
That's beautiful. Well, I understand you're going to share some of this at an event coming up. And so the event is going to be in Overland Park, Kansas. I'd love the audience to see your bio. This is Shauna's bio and who she is and how you can reach out to her. And then this is a flyer of the event she's going to be at. It's called Becoming the Best You Can Be, Overcoming Challenges. And it's going to be February 11th through the 13th at the Sheridan Hotel Convention Center in Overland Park, Kansas. And the great news is you can still get tickets for the event at comechangeyourlife.com. And you can come to the event live in person, which is a must if you can come in person, because you get to not only hear the speakers and the poets and the comedians and every other kind of entertainment we're going to have, but you get to interact with them. But if you can't come in person, you can attend the event virtually for only $49 for the whole weekend. What an amazing price tag to be able to come, isn't it, Shauna? To come for
Yes, it is.
virtually?
Yes, it is.
Mm. So, do you want to say anything about that? Of why did you select this event, and anything else you want to add to about what the event's going to be that you feel will inspire others?
So I think I selected the event to speak at because I have overcome many challenges. And many people in this day and time with the pandemic going on and everything need to know they have a way out. There is a way of escape. There is a way that you can overcome your problems. There is a way that you can become the best you. I know we're in the middle of a pandemic, but you can still be blessed by change. Change is the motivator to becoming the best you. So if I were you, I would attend. If you cannot attend in person, I would attend virtually. And I would also bring a notepad and bring a pencil or a pen because you will need it. There's tons of speakers that will be giving you valuable information that you can take home with you to change your life. Not don't just write it down and put it in a corner, but apply it to your life. because there will be many challenges that will be shared, and it may be something that you need to hear, and it may be something that makes you think, aha, that's what that was that I was going through. Now I can make it. So yes, come, be a part, celebrate with us, change, because it's here.
And note takers are change makers.
Yes,
Yes.
yes.
So thanks so much, Shayna, from joining us on your busy day to let others know about your wonderful story in life and how your life has led you to becoming the best you can be and wanting to share that with the world. So we look forward to seeing everyone in Overland Park, Kansas, or on the virtual live event. So get your tickets today and meet Shayna in person and myself. I'll be there as well. So thanks so much, Shayna, for joining us tonight.
You're so very welcome. Thank you for having me.
We'll look forward to seeing you in Overland Park, Kansas. Bye now, everyone.